5, chapter 15, text 11. Chandamsi kamasya chayasya kaman dudhurajharu ato bhalim nirpaha pradanchita yuddhi dharmena vipra yadha shisham shashtamam shampraitya. Chandamsi, all the different parts of the Vedas, akamasya, of one who has no desire for personal sense gratification, cha, also, yasya, whose kaman, all desirables, duruhu, yielded, ajaruhu, offered, ato, thus, balim, presentation, nirpaha, all the kings, pratyanchitaha, being satisfied by his fighting in opposition, yuddhi, in the war, dharmena, by religious principles, vipraha, all the brahmanas, yadha, when, ashisam, of blessings, shashtam, amsam, 1/6, paretya, in the next life. Although King Gaya had no personal desire for sense gratification, all his desires were fulfilled by virtue of his performance of Vedic rituals. All the kings with whom Maharaj Gaya had to fight were forced to fight on religious principles. They were very satisfied with his fighting. They would present all kinds of gifts to him. Similarly, all the Brahmanas in his kingdom were very satisfied with King Gaya's munificence charities. Consequently, the Brahmanas contributed 1/6 of their pious activities for King Gaya's benefit in the next life. Please repeat. Although King Gaya had no personal desire for sense gratification, all his desires were fulfilled by virtue of his performance of Vedic rituals. All the kings with whom Maharaj Gaya had to fight were forced to fight on religious principles. They were very satisfied with his fighting, and they would present all kinds of gifts to him. Similarly, all the Brahmanas in his kingdom were very satisfied with King Gaya's munificent charities. Consequently, the Brahmanas contribute 1/6 of their pious activities for King Gaya's benefit in the next life. Purport. As a Kshatriya or emperor, Maharaj Gaya sometimes had to fight with subordinate kings to maintain his government. But the subordinate kings were not dissatisfied with him because they knew that he fought for religious principles. Consequently, they accepted their subordination and offered all kinds of gifts to him. Similarly, the Brahmanas who performed Vedic rituals were so satisfied with the king that they very readily agreed to part 1/6 of their pious activities for his benefit in the next life. Thus, the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas were satisfied with Maharaj Gaya because of his proper administration. In other words, Maharaj Gaya satisfied the Kshatriya kings by his fighting and satisfied the Brahmanas by his charities. The Vaishyas were also encouraged by kind words and affectionate dealings, and due to Maharaj Gaya's constant sacrifices, the Sudras were satisfied by sumptuous food and charity. In this way, Maharaj Gaya kept all citizens very satisfied. When Brahmanas and saintly persons are honored, they part with their pious activities, giving them to those who honor them and render them service. Therefore, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Tat Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya one should try to approach a spiritual master submissively and render service unto him. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Shapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Vidati Swapadadikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsta Sri Rupam Sagradatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varijana Sayitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Radhika Shri Vishadhamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Nada Kanta Namaste Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Bhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Mancha Kalpatriviyascha Vipasindhu Bhuyevacha Patitanam Bhavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namaram Vishwapadhaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Satyavadi Paschadya Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for attending the Saturday Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are looking at the verse 5:15-11. This chapter is called The Descendants of Maharaj Priyavrata. This chapter is happening after the whole, we went through at least 8 chapters, right? 8 or 7 chapters regarding Maharaj Bharat. So the 5th canto is actually talking about Sthanam, the universal positions, the planetary positions. After this chapter, we will go totally into the cosmic creation of the universe. Before that, we are talking about a lot of the dynasties of Maharaj Priyavrata. So the title of this chapter is called what is it called? The Descendants of Maharaj Priyavrata. So Maharaj Priyavrata, son of Uttanapad, the brother of Dhruva Maharaj. Right? They are the grandsons of Swayambhu Manu. So we are looking at 4th canto. We went into the story of Swayambhu Manu, everything, and then we went into the whole story of Dhruva Maharaj and how Dhruva Maharaj actually ruled the kingdom for 36,000 years. He was blessed by the Lord. So after the departure of Dhruva Maharaj to Vaikunta, Maharaj Priyavrata was told to take over. But he was a brahmachari and he refused to take the instructions. But the Supreme Lord, Brahma himself, Narada and all told that you become the king because someone capable has to rule the kingdom. So this whole topic, if you look at Bhagavatam, so many topics are related to kings. And these are all not ordinary kings. These are all Raja Rishis. They are Rishis actually, but they are doing the duty of a king. Now, many of us may have desire, I want to be king. But you know what is the conception in our mind? We want to be king because we think we want to enjoy. If I'm a king, I can do this. Actually, real job of a king is not, it's a very lonely job. If you see astrology, the sun is called the king of all planets. You know, the sun represents the king. And the sun is always, have you ever seen the sun coming late once? Exactly the time it will rise, exactly it will set. The sun is super consistent. He's always ahead. So the king has to be like the sun. That's why you see even Lord Ram, he appeared in the Surya Vamsha. Lord Krishna appeared in Chandra Vamsha. So the king has to have the qualities of the sun. If you study the sun, what is one of the qualities? It's very consistent. It will always be a very righteous. The sun is there to provide, right? Because of the sun only, all the food is coming, all the crops is coming, all life is coming through the sun only. So the sun is meant to sustain life in this world. Similarly, that is the job of the king. You know, with the expense of sacrificing his own comfort. Exactly, we think, we say, oh, I want to be a king, I want to be a politician. These are all Sudra kings. What we see in Kali Yuga. They come and get the position for 5 years and they exploit the people. They take so much of money. We see this in India very, very openly. Example, like say, if you look at the Andhra, right? Of course, I do not know what is the current administration's. Of course, there is it's all different kind of thief. You are just a better thief than the previous thief. So this previous government of Andhra came in. I know this whole thing because they did a mess in the administration of Tirupati. They have no regard. They went inside the political power. They got the votes. Once they got the votes, finish. They went and corruption, so much corruption, exploited everything. They came to Tirumala. They stole all the wealth, the money. They changed even the laddu, the ghee. So this is not a king's duty. In fact, if you behave like such a king, so in this verse you can see, if you are a good king, what happens is the Brahmanas will be satisfied and they will contribute a sixth of the pious activities. So here we are talking about King Gaya. He's coming in the line of Bharat Maharaj lineage. I don't know if he connected to the kingdom of Gaya. So yeah, so he was such a great king that the Brahmanas they were so satisfied with him, they wanted to part away with their punya. If you see this verse, 420, function F2, is it? For 2014, if you see here, it is said, Shreya Prajapalanam eva rajno yat sam paraye sukritat ashtamamsha hartanyata hritapunya prajnam arakshitakara harogam ati. To give protection to the general mass of the people who are citizens of the state is the prescribed occupational duty of the king. This is the duty of the most important duty of the king, to give protection. Right? So protection does not only mean bodily protection, but spiritual protection. The king has to observe that everyone is doing their duties in the Varana ashram. There are 4 stages, right? Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. And there are 4 different, Varanas. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. So everybody has to do their duty as a Brahmana. So the king has to observe, is the duty of the Brahmana, is the Brahmana acting as a Brahmana? Is he doing his duty as a Brahmana? Is the Kshatriya acting as a Kshatriya based on the qualities? And he also has to see that all of them are doing their duties, and the duty is to satisfy Vishnu. Varnashrama. Varnashrama Vicharita. Vibhagasa. So the duty of the Varnashrama system, all Brahmanas, we are all doing our work. Yes, all of us are working, but we all have the priority of elevating in our Krishna consciousness. So king has to be a devotee. If he's not a devotee, why would he bother thinking whether my citizens are devotees? That is why Krishna did not want Duryodhana and Kauravas to rule the kingdom. In fact, they say when the Pandavas were in exile for 13 years, everyone says that Duryodhana ruled very nicely. But he's not a devotee. He's against Krishna. When Krishna came to us, just 5 villages also, he said not one pin of a needle point of a grain soil I will give to you. So he is not a devotee of the Lord. So how good rulership he can do? Yeah, he can help the people have material satisfaction. But if the king is not pious, what will happen is Mother Earth will not produce grains. There will be no sufficient rains. There will be natural disasters like what we are seeing. Whatever we are eating is plastics only. That is our situation now. We are not even eating food now. Male fertility rate has gone very low. Females are having so much of menstrual problems. Why? Because the food we are eating is not natural. It's all GMO, genetically modified, pesticides, so much of pesticides. So these are all symptoms of bad governance. Nature is not providing. People are also very poor. Those days nature was providing so much of gems, gold, very easily you can get. Right? So when Duryodhana wanted, people are saying Duryodhana ruled like a good king. Firstly, he's not devotee. He cannot rule like that. Eventually, he will start exploiting. Because right now, he has to show also, we must understand, a good behavior. Pandavas are in the forest, right? So it's not like he is exclusively the king. He knows that Pandavas will come back. So I have to temporarily do something to show I'm great. Right? But the whole idea of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana is not to rule the kingdom to help protect the people. It's for their own sense gratification. That is the difference. I want to be a king because I want to be powerful. I want to be rich. All the envy that they build up on Pandavas is because they lost the throne. Dhritarashtra was not qualified to get the throne because he was blind. And he wanted to, his expanded selfishness came towards his children, his son. And so much envy that person has that even as a child, he's giving poison cake to Bhima. As a child, you are planning all these things with so much of malice and intention. How you can rule the kingdom? If you are so envious towards your own family member, it wouldn't be takes how long will it take for you to be envious against someone's family member? Understand? Ideal king, this is not ideal king. Ideal king has to see everybody as praja. That's why if you see in the Bhagavad Gita, first verse it says, Mamaka Pandavas Seva. He's making a division. My son's son. He's making a division. Not only he's blind by his eyesight, he's blind by his spiritual vision as well. Understand? And if you see Arjuna speaking, Swajana, these are all my jana, how I can fight them? Arjuna was thinking everyone is my family. See the difference? So a king should not have this, what do you call that was? Impartiality. If you have this impartiality, discrimination, you will not make it. Why Prabhupada's organization made it? Because Prabhupada had no impartiality towards anyone. He was so lovingly towards every single person, even more to the disciples than his own children also. You see? So that's why everybody respected Prabhupada and they gave their life to work under him because they could see he was an ideal king. He was the king of our movement, right? So this, again, back to the point of the Dhritarashtra. If you go to also the story of Dhruva Maharaj father Uttanapad shows impartiality. Am I right? When Dhruva wanted to sit on his lap, he says, you cannot, he did not say anything, he was silent. The stepmother chastised Dhruva, how you dare to sit on his lap? You are not my son. So again, impartiality was shown towards Dhruva from Uttanapad. So how, if Uttanapad, actually, if you think about it, he again is not so ideal in that sense. But of course, he's not like Dhritarashtra. After Dhruva went to the forest, he was completely in remorse and regret. And he did not make that same mistake again. And when Dhruva came back, he embraced him and he waited for him to grow up a little older and he renounced his kingdom. So that, of course, he made a mistake, but he eventually became an ideal king. So now we see this verse, ideal king is one who, so by acting in that way, so he says that to give protection, right? So we already discussed this point. King's duty is to give protection. Kshatriya. What is that breakdown, Prabhu? Iti Kshatriya. Shata. Shata Trayate. To Trayate means to free someone from hurt. Protect someone from hurt. That is Kshatriya. Right? So by acting in that way, the king in his next life shares again is mentioned here, 1/6 of the results of the pious activities of the citizens. So if however the king behaves, if the king behaves sinfully, and once the king is sinful, the population will become sinful. When the population is sinful, he will also take 1/6 of their karma. So it's not a good idea to be king if you don't have the power to enforce purity on the citizens. Right? But the king or executive head of state who simply collect taxes from the citizens but does not give them proper protection as human beings has results of his own pious activities taken away by the citizens. So the king only taxing. Recently there was a news, right? The Indian tax. Last year everybody was crying about the tax. This year they understood if they're going to continue like that, they will lose the votes. So they said, okay, until 12 lakhs, you don't need to tax. Everybody get happy. So all these are temporary stopgap measures. You're not going to. You can run the city in the country in a economical way, whatever way you can. But if it's not run spiritually, eventually all the sins will come to the king, right? So he says here that the king who does not give protection, his pious activity also goes to the citizen now, and in exchange for his not giving protection, he becomes liable to punishment for the impious activities of his subjects. This is what happens. So no, you cannot, like if you look at the West, you look at any country, it's a mess, right? The king is coming, taking power, and then he's introducing all this woke philosophy, LGBT. Children are learning how to change their gender in their schools. All these crazy things are happening right now in the last 5-10 years because new politicians have come, and then they want to bring in this woke agenda. So how much sinful activities they are accumulating? Like if you go to Canada, completely legalized so much of drugs. Streets are filled with drug addicts. People are just dying on the streets. And you know what? The government has another law, euthanasia law. That means if you don't want to leave, you can write some letter, you can get some approval, and you can kill yourself. How sinful! They are enabling suicide. They said, okay, you go and die. Because why? They don't know. They don't want to support the citizens. They don't want to help the citizens. They want to get the money more. So more or less people, more money for them, right? So this is the situation of the Kali Yuga kings. They will face a lot of reactions after this life. Okay, but if you look at the kings of the past, like Maharaj Gaya, Maharaj Yudhishthira, Maharaj Parikshit, very ideal kings. In fact, Yudhishthira Maharaj, so many things can be said about him. He was refusing to be the king. With Jai Shri Shri Radha. He was refusing to take charge of the kingdom, the Pandavas, right? How many times Krishna, even Arjuna did not want to fight. Krishna had to preach to them. No, you do the duty. You are a Kshatriya. You have to act according to your duty and protect. Just because you renounce a kingdom and run away, what will happen? Who will protect the citizens? So one of the job of Krishna is what? Paritranaya sadhunam, vinasaya duskritam. To destroy the people who are against dharma, to establish dharma. Dharma samsa pranataya. How he establishes dharma? He establishes the ideal king. When the ideal king is there, the country will flourish. Then the Brahmanas, who are representing the head of the Lord, the mouth of the Lord, the Brahmanas will be able to preach the message of Krishna consciousness. The king's duty is to take advice from the Brahmanas and to support the Brahmanas in their preaching activities. The Brahmanas should be completely given the power to spread this Krishna consciousness. So that is how the ideal king is. Like if you see in another king, his name is Maharaj Katvanga. Maharaj Katvanga is coming in the dynasty of Surya Vamsha. This is this verse. Sorry, not this verse. So all these kings who are coming in the line of Lord Ram, very great kings. Maharaj Katvanga, Muchukunda, Name Brahma Kulat, Pragya Kuladhai, Daivan Nachatmaja, Nashriyo Namahi Rajam, Nadhadrastati Vallabha. Maharaj Katvanga taught, not even my life is dearer to me than the Brahminical culture and the Brahmanas who are worshipped by my family. What then is to say of my kingdom, land, wife, and opulence? Nothing is more dearer to me than the Brahmanas. This was Maharaj Katvanga. So much he loved the Brahmanas and provided for the Brahmanas. Why? Because he knows the Brahmanas have the ability to deliver the rest of the Varanas from the cycle of birth and death. So this is how, again, Maharaj Gaya was doing this. You can see in today's verse, he was going and fighting, right? He was fighting various kings, because when various kings are not doing their duty, the emperor has to come and do his duty now. He has to correct the king now, right? Like in those days, you see, there are many names called Maharaj, right? Maharaj means they are in charge of one kingdom. When you say Chakravarti, Chakravarti means he is the ruler of all these Maharaj. So Yudhishthira actually was Chakravarti. Parikshit Maharaj, right? But actually he was Chakravarti. So he also has to make sure all other kings are working under correct correct orders. Like if you see in the we see another verse where Lord Ram is saying how Lord Ram was towards the Brahmanas. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Ramayana Kuntamedase Uttama Sloka Duryaya Nyasa Dhandari Pitangre 9:11:7. O Lord, you are the supreme personality Godhead who have accepted the Brahmanas as the worshipable deity. Your knowledge and memory are never disturbed by anxiety. You are the chief of the famous persons within this world. Your lotus feet are worshipped by the sages who are beyond the jurisdiction of punishment. O Lord Ramachandra, let us offer respectful obeisance. So you see, this is Lord Ram. Namo Brahmanya Devaya. So he always protects the Brahmanas. We also say Krishna, right? Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanaya. Protects the Brahmanas and the cows. And by protecting them, Jagat Hitaya, Krishnaya, Govindaya. Everyone is benefited by the association of the devotees. So he says here, Ramaya Kunta Medase. What does that mean? Akunta Medase. Say the Lord, whose memory and knowledge are never disturbed by anxiety. So the Lord's mind, right? Medase. His mind, his brain is always doing what thing, right? Hare Hare Medase. Or if you see the Mukunda Mala Stotra, the first verse, what is the first? Sri Vallaveti Varadeti Daya Pareti Bhakta Priyeti Bhava Lutana Kovideti. What is that? Bhava Lutana Kovideti. His Kovida is always using his intelligence, his Medasa, intelligence. Bhava Lutana. How to loot, how to take away, steal your bad karma. The Lord has no anxiety, right? He says, Ramaya Kunta Medase. He has no anxiety. Krishna has no anxiety. Rama has no anxiety. But one anxiety they have. How to save us from the cycle of birth and death. And you know how they save us from the cycle of birth and death? The Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas, they are meant to work as the agents. They are actually doing the job of they're hired by the Lord to do this job. To help him relieve his anxiety of seeing us suffering. That is the job of the Brahmanas. So this is how a very nice society will be. If the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudra, everyone works towards this common goal. Right? If you look at the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, of course, I'm not going to narrate the full story here, just one part of it. Brihad Bhagavatamrita is written by who? Sanatana Goswami. Brihad Bhagavatamrita is the essence of the Bhagavatam. Now, Bhagavatam is the essence of the entire Vedic tree, right? The entire Vedas, Nigama Kalpataru Galitam Phalam Vidam, is coming from the mouth of Sukadeva Goswami. It's the fruit of the Vedas. This Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, is the essence of the Vedas. And Brihad Bhagavatamrita is the essence of the essence. So how is Sanatana Goswami writing this Brihad Bhagavatamrita? Actually, you must understand, Parikshit Maharaj, great king, right? Very great king. He was ruling his kingdom very ideally. He did not let Kali Yuga even enter. He punished Melacharupena Rajanya. He punished Kali, right? Kali could not enter the kingdom. So, but then somehow he got cursed by this Shringi. Later we will see some verses about that. Shringi cursed him that he should die in 7 days. So everything he gave up. As an ideal king, he's a rishi. He was just doing a duty as a king only, right? Now he gave up his duty as a king. He came to the banks of the Ganga and he heard the Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. And after hearing 18,000 verses, he was completely ready to go back to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, Goloka. So he went to the Ganga and he was meditating. And all the sages who were there, they left him alone because he's preparing himself to leave his body now. At that time, his mother comes, Uttara. Uttara is feeling very sad that her son is going to be departing very soon. But she is also a very great devotee. When Parikshit was in the womb, Krishna himself went inside the womb, right, to save the child. So she had so much great association. She was associated with the Pandavas. Her husband was Abhimanyu. Krishna herself, she was serving. She was serving. Such a great devotee she was. She came, and you know what she told the son? My only regret is, usually when we see our son is going to die tomorrow, we'll be crying, how will I live without you? You know what she said? My regret is I didn't hear the Bhagavatam like you have heard. Okay. So how much she was attached to they all were so attached to Krishna. They know that the goal of life is Krishna only. Anytime body will go, doesn't matter. If you look at Canto 1, chapter 15, it is called The Pandavas Retire Timely. Not like Gandhi, untimely, gone. Timely retirement. They were not interested. They were just holding the kingdom, running the kingdom as much as time is needed to help the people. Now, next time is gone, Krishna left, they left without any warning. Never realized, never went and hugged the walls in the house. How will I live this? We see in the movies, right? Sometimes the guy is staying in the big zamindar like that, and then he became pauper, and then he's hugging the door, the wall, and he's crying. Sometimes he'll die by attachment to the house also. Yes, many movies like that. But here, Pandavas understood Krishna is gone. Time to go. Pandavas retired timely. So never attached to the position of being a king and enjoying like a king, and right, whatever enjoyment comes with the opulence is just a side effect. In fact, they can say Pandavas actually suffered more. When people always in Mahabharata they say, "Oh, Karna is always injustice, he's always suffering," but actually Pandavas suffered more than Karna. Pandavas were born in the forest, right? And then after that, they had to go to the forest again when the house of Lek was burnt. How long they were finished? For another 13 years in forest. But even though Karna was abandoned by his mother, he never had a comfortable life, right? So much hardship they went through. So what the point I was trying to make is, I forgot where my line of thought now. Where was I? Ideal king. Parikshit, yes. So Parikshit and mother is having conversation. And you know what the mother asked? In Bhagavatam, when you read the Bhagavatam, you see Parikshit is saying excellent questions. Pariksha. He's always and he's examining. Why his name is Parikshit? Because he's examining who is the Supreme Lord. Because that Supreme Lord he saw in the womb, now he's trying to find out where is that Lord now? Where is Krishna now? That is the meaning of Parikshit. Examiner. So when he was talking to Sukadeva Goswami, so many brilliant, excellent questions he was asking, and that's how Bhagavatam was born, by this conversation. Now, if the son is such a great, excellent questioner, how much greater the mother will be? So mother comes to Parikshit and mother says, "My dear son, give me, now I know you're going to go, but give me the essence of the most essence of the Bhagavatam." Can you imagine how much essence is Brihad Bhagavatamrita, no? Right? So the mother says, "Can you give me answer to two questions?" She just two questions only, this Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Who has the greatest mercy of Krishna? Who has received the greatest mercy? And what is the greatest of both? Right? So just these two questions. So based on these two questions, Parikshit is referring to what he heard from Bhagavatam. He is giving the first part is about who received the greatest mercy. So he's talking about Prahlad Maharaj, he's talking about Hanuman, he's talking about Uddhava. Of course, we know the greatest mercy only received by the gopis. So he's telling the story of Narada Muni. Right? Narada Muni, he's telling a story which, of course, he didn't hear this story in Bhagavatam, but this story is there. He heard this story and he's using that story and giving an essence of Bhagavatam. While he is having this conversation now with his mother, right? These two questions are being answered. Jaimini Rishi comes there. Jaimini Rishi is the disciple of Vyasadeva. Jaimini Rishi, so Vyasadeva also split the Vedas into 4 parts. He gave different Vedas to different Rishis. Jaimini was given the part of Samaveda. So Jaimini Rishi was there because Sukadeva Goswami said, "You go there and listen to this conversation." And again, this was listened by Jaimini Rishi and it was narrated to Janamejaya. Okay, now you must see how. So Janamejaya heard the Mahabharata. Vyasadeva wrote the Mahabharata, right? Janamejaya actually heard the Mahabharata through Vaishampayana Rishi. Vaishampayana Rishi narrated the Mahabharata to him in the arena of the fire sacrifice. When Parikshit Maharaj was departed, Janamejaya did a fire sacrifice to kill all the snakes. And somehow the snakes were stopped from being killed by Astika Rishi. So after that, all rishis are there, no? So Janamejaya saw Vaishambhayana. He said, "Can you tell me the story of my forefathers, of my grandfathers, my great grandfathers?" Then the whole Mahabharata was narrated by Vaishambhayana, who received the knowledge from Vyasadeva. After Vaishambhayana narrated the Mahabharata, he narrated the supplementary to the Mahabharata called the Harivamsa Purana. So Harivamsa Purana is the supplementary. You'll find extra additional appendix stories. After he left, Janamejaya still had the urge to hear now. Further, he wanted to hear. Jaimani Rishi was there. He said, "Can you explain to me about Mahabharata again?" So, because you see, Vaishambhayana Rishi explained Mahabharata in a way that was very, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. You cannot get to the real essence of the Mahabharata. But here, Jaimani Rishi again narrates Mahabharata. Unfortunately, it was not written down. Then Mahabharata, which was narrated again by Jaimani Rishi, took the essence of bhakti. So it's Mahabharata in a bhakti angle. Then after narrating that, he said, "Can you give me a supplementary to this?" Then Jaimani says the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. You see how it's all connected. Now you may be wondering how Sanatan Goswami knows this. So this is the vision of the pure devotee. When a pure devotee, they can see things we cannot see. Like last, we had a workshop, right? We were talking about Harinam Chintamani. Harinam Chintamani is the discussion of, who is that? Harinam Chintamani is written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, talking about the discussion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur. You cannot find these verses in Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavat, and it goes very deep. So one may question, how did Bhaktivinoda Thakur know all these things? How he knows these things? Did he make it up? Did Sanatan Goswami make this up? No. Because they are pure devotees, it is said in the Ramayana, when Valmiki was given the power to write the Ramayana, Brahma blessed him, and Brahma says, just like the amla fruit, amla, you see in your hand, how near you can see, right? So clearly you can see. That amla's fruit, that much you will see the Lord from life, past, present, future. I bless you to see past, present, future, even the private life of Lord Ram. It's like these pure devotees, when the pure devotees of Goswamis, Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Puja Kokila Hamsa Sarasagana, Kirne Mayarukule, Nana Ratna Nibhada, Mula Vitapa, Tadhama Vrindavan. They were going threes to threes, and they were in Vrindavan. They said no, every day they change the tree every few days, because they say they don't want to what? Get attached to the tree, right? Also, when they stay in the tree, they are getting the vision of what happened on Krishna Leela here. What conversation happened between Radha and Krishna here. Everything they saw, they wrote down. Similarly, Sanatan Goswami, with his mind, with his vision of his mind, heart, internal vision. If Sanjaya could see the battlefield, these pure devotees could see what happened in the conversation between Radha and Krishna. Those intimate conversations which not found in Bhagavatam also was written by Rupa Goswami, by Jiva Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, all intimate things. They are eternal manjaris. So Sanatan Goswami is Rati Manjari, or they say Rati Manjari or Lavanga Manjari. Very close associate of Radharani. He can see everything. So like that, Sanatan Goswami saw this vision of this conversation of Jaimini Rishi and Janamejaya, and he wrote the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Sorry for the long introduction, because I need to establish how Brihad Bhagavatamrita started. So first question was asked, the mercy. Who receives the greatest mercy of the Lord? Right? Now we'll come to the point of the class. I only will come to the second person. So what happens is Narada Muni is traveling the universe now to find out who got the mercy of the Lord. Narada Muni first goes to Prayag. Many of you all went to Kumbh Mela, right? So it says that the month of Magh, if you take a dip there, it's very, very pleasing to the Lord. So Narada Muni went to Prayag, he was observing various people, they are yogis, they are jnanis, and then he saw this Brahmana who was very pure, worshipping his Shaligram Shila. And so nicely he was worshipping the Shaligram Shila, offering bhog and prasadam he took and he distributed to everyone, including the lower people also. Anyone, he distributed to everyone, even to the insects. That much prasadam distribution he did with his capacity. So Narada Muni was very pleased and said, "My dear Brahmana, you are so great. I think you are the person who received the highest mercy of the Lord. Then Ramana said, no, 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 no. I'm not. If somebody praises us, yes, yes, yes. I am the great. I sing very well. No? I give nice class. Yes, you want to hear the praises, but the pure devotee doesn't want to hear his praises. In fact, you must understand all these people he's meeting are pure devotees already, and they are telling someone higher. So he said, no, you see, I am doing this because now there is a festival happening here. There's a special occasion like Kumbh Mela. I'm coming here, right, the month of March. So I'm doing this charity of charity, but I'm not doing this every day. Of course, he's a Brahmana. He's doing every day, but not in this scale. If you want to know who is more better than me, you go to South India. There's a king of the Pandya kingdom. You meet him. He's doing this service even much greater in a big festival every day. So Narada Muni said, okay, I'll go there. So what you can understand from the first point, Narada Muni was not attracted to the Jnani, the yogi. He was attracted to the Bhakta. One who does bhakti yoga, he attracts the attention of the devotees of the Lord, the pure devotees of the Lord. So first point. Secondly, he went to the kingdom now. He saw the king, and the king was so pious. Now that's why I'm bringing this point. The king was so pious that the lands did not need to be tilled. You know, now if you want to get agriculture, you have to work so hard, no? You have to till the land. You have to do so many things, so many processing to get some crops from the soil. In previous yugas, Treta, like that, Dwapara, Satya Yuga, not Dwapara, but so pious. The land automatically, in the nighttime rain will come. If it rains at night, it's very auspicious. If it rains too much at day, eventually Prabhupada said drought will come. So it's raining at night. Then the night time itself, without farmers, they are there, they don't need to do much work. All the crops are coming. Why? Because he's so pure. This king is so pure. This is the point I wanted to make. The purity of the king. So if you go to, let's say, we go to Ram Raja, same thing, right? 9, 10, 52. वनानि नाथ्यो गृहो वर्षाणि द्वीपस् सिन्धवः सर्वे कामनुगा. Yeah. Actually, all connected. Maharaj Parikshit, the best of Bharata, of the Bharat dynasty. During the reign of Dr. Ramachandra, the forests, rivers, hills, mountains, states, and 7 islands and 7 seas were all favorable in supplying necessities for life. No need to do much work. You just chant. People say, no, oh, you chant means everything will be okay. Correct. You have no faith in the holy name. Right? They say, oh, if everybody become devotee, what will happen to society? No need to worry. Mother Nature will provide you. Why you have to worry? You have to go inside the coal mine and dig the coal, is it? You don't need to do all these crazy things. If you see the next verse, 53. Nadi vyadi dhara glani dukkha sokha bhaya lama mrityus charichatam nasti rame rajam adokshaje. When Lord Ramachandra was Supreme Personality was the king of this world, all bodily, mental suffering, disease, old age, bereavement, lamentation, distress, fear, and fatigue were completely absent. There is not even death for those who did not want. Right? You see how great the kingdom was. So we say, you know, chanting is the solution. They will tell you how you can tell me the solution. Okay, now you're not taking chanting. Is your society running nicely? You're opening more and more hospitals only. That means more and more people are getting disease now. Right? But if you're pious, you don't need to open hospital anymore. No more disease. Understand? No more death also. If you don't want to die, also you don't need to die. This is Ram Rajya. This is how, if a pious king was there. So similarly, this king was like that. Pandya king, Gaya also, I'm talking about this Pandya king, so nicely ruling everything. So they have so much of time because now you don't need to work hard for the supply from nature. You know what's happening every day? Every day is a festival. So every day he was doing grand festivals worshipping the Lord. Big elephants, everything. Everybody in the city daily Nitya Utsava. Nitya Utsava. Then Narada Muni came and praised him. You are so pious, and all the Brahmanas want to go to this kingdom. Very favorable to preach there. And he was so charitable. He provided so much of charity to Brahmanas, facilities to Brahmanas to preach. So Narada Muni came and said, "My dear king, I think you are the one who must receive the mercy of Krishna the most." Then again he says, "No, it's not me. I am just getting so much from Krishna, a little bit tiny percent I'm giving him only. See how stingy I am." So this is the quality of the pure devotee. So what we can learn from the Brahmana is, first thing we learn someone who was engaging in bhakti. Second thing we learn someone who is committed to the process of bhakti. Daily commitment, daily sadhana of doing these big festivals. That's how Narada Muni got attracted to him. Then he says, you think I am great, but actually there's greater than me. And this is only one small kingdom doing small things like that. There's someone greater than me, the Devatas, the heavenly planet. So you should go and see the king of heaven, Indra. He's doing so much more than me. So like that, Narad Muni goes. Of course, I cannot continue the story here because it's not relevant to the class. But one day we will cover this, if possible, in a workshop like Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Summarize. Because our idea is to summarize it so that you will also read it eventually. You get what I mean? So this is the point, that the king was so pious that the Narad Muni came. You see, this is the power of the king, position of the king. The king is called what? Naradeva. He's Naradeva because he represents the Supreme Lord. In fact, it is said in this verse by Madhavacharya. You see this verse in the purport. So, Harim Asmin Sthita iti Strinam Vratari Bhavana Sishyanam Chaguru Nityam Sudranam Brahmanadhishu Pratyanam Swamin Tata Hari Bhava Udiritaha. A woman should think of a husband as the Supreme Lord. Of course, the husband has to be a proper devotee. Right? Husband, because he is representing the Guru and Krishna. He's supposed to guide the family, right? The wife. So the wife should see her husband like that. Similarly, disciple should think the spiritual master as Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, Guru is again not God, he is representing, right? Sakshat Dharitvena Samastasa. Right? Guru will never say I'm God. I'm always representing. But you should be worshipped as good as God, as good as Hari. Sakshat Dhari. Alright. So, as a Sudra should think of Brahmana as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and a servant should think of the Master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All will automatically become devotee. In others, thinking they will become Krishna consciousness. Of course, the king is also known as Naradeva. He should be taken as a Supreme. So, this is how we should see. And when that king is absent from the kingdom, what happens? We will have this situation. And such a king is not there. You see here, Prabhupada always quotes this last line of this verse, Malacha Rajanya Rupina. Right? Says there in Kali Yuga, the barbarians. So what happened right now? This is happening. The barbarians, in guise of kings, will devour the citizenry, murdering innocent women, children, cows, and brahmanas, and coveting the wives and property of other men. This is what's happening. They will be erratic in their moods, have little strength of character, be very short-lived, indeed not purified by any Vedic rituals, and lacking in practice of regulative principles. They will be completely covered by the modes of passion and ignorance. This is what we are going through right now. We have such kings. Example, if you look at the situation, I don't know if you saw the news. In the United Kingdom, there is this big problem of the grooming gangs. So what is the problem? From 1990s till now, at least thousands and thousands of young girls, 12 years old, 11 years old, 10 years old, gang raped by Pakistani gangs. These girls are targeted by these gangsters. They are groomed and then they become sex trafficked. It's going on for the last 30 years. And when the police was given complaint, the police was not taking action. Police was protecting the gangs. So why the police is like that? Because the government, and the government also got to know about it. The current government running the show now, they know all these cases, they were keeping quiet. Why? Because they want to be seen as a society which accepts migrants. So at the cost of Girls, young girls, lives ruined, family lives ruined, thousands of lives ruined. Right? So is this the protection? Police are not protecting. The police, when you report to them and you say, my 12 years old daughter got raped, you know what they say? Oh, well, we can't do anything because she had consensual sex with all these gangs. Can a 12 years old agree to sex? No, right? Why the police is behaving like that? Because they got the direction from the government. So where is the protection? You are living in such a country. Everybody, I'm going to go to the Western country. I'm going to go to UK. You see what is happening. You go to their towns and horrendous cases like that. People, girls, many of them have died also. So yeah, this kind of criminals will be there. This kind of rascals, this kind of demons will be there. But the king has to be powerful enough to destroy them, to correct them. If the king does not have the power, then we will be going through this. Of course, right now we are in Singapore. Seemingly, we are looking like we are in a safe position. But it's never going to be safe because you are in the material world. You are in Kali Yuga. Anything can happen anytime. Right? So we have to somehow come back, re-establish. That's why Prabhupada wanted this movement, preaching movement, to go and spread through every town, every Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted this because this is the only saving grace for the human society. To become devotees. When you become devotees, you're not going to do all these crazy things, right? That is why, if you look at the Srimad Bhagavatam again, Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed by the Brahmana, he was very regrettable. You see this verse. We'll conclude with this story of Parikshit Maharaj. You all know that Parikshit Maharaj got cursed, right? He was looking for water, and then he came to this place where the Rishi, Samika Rishi, was meditating, and then he put the snake on him because the Rishi was not reciprocating. And the son came. The son is a Shringi. Shringi saw his father having the snake. He immediately cursed the king to die in 7 days. So when the father woke up, he felt very, very disappointed with his son. And he understood now that the ideal king of Parikshit is gone. The whole country, the whole world is going to suffer. So these are the verses spoken by the father to the son. Oh my boy, your intelligence is immature, and therefore you have no knowledge that the king, who is the best amongst the human beings, is as good as the personality of God. This is called Naradeva. See the verse. Navai nirbhir Naradevam Parakyam. Right? So the father is telling to the son, he's as good as the Supreme Lord, right? He's never to be placed on equal footing with common man. The citizens of the state live in prosperity, being protected by his unsurpassable power, prowess. So the quality of the Brahmana is what? Forgiveness. Shringi was not having the quality of the Brahmana. So Kali took advantage. Kali wanted to enter. He used this Brahmana. So the first Brahmana to become a victim of Kali was Shringi. And ever since then, the whole Brahmana system, the whole Brahmana, the head of the society, the caste, is completely gone. Right? The Brahmanas lose the austerity, the power of preaching, right? They lose the power of preaching. They lose the power of propagating Krishna consciousness. What happens? The entire society fails. And it started from here. Then you see the father, what he says. My dear Lord, my dear boy, the Lord who carries the wheel of chariot is represented by the monarchical regime. The entire monarchy is not moving. It's stuck in the verse. In the following verse, it's here. So you see the following verse, my dear boy, the Lord who carries the wheel of chariot is represented by the monarchical regime. So what is the chariot wheel? Right? It is a wheel like also it's a chakra, Sudarshan chakra. Right? The Lord uses these to punish people who are offenders. Like it is said in the Ranganath Stotram, right? Idam hi rangam yatutami hangam punarna changam yadichangam eti panau ratangam Charanebu Gangam. Right? Pano Ratangam means in his hand he is carrying the chariot wheel. Charanemu Gangam. From his leg the Ganga is coming. Yane Vihangam. He is riding on the Garuda. Shayane Bhujangam. He is lying on the stage. Glorification of Lord Rangana. Idam Virangam Dajatami Hangam Punar Nachangam Yadi Changameti. If you go to Rangam and if you give up, Yadatami Hangam, if you give up your body, then you will never take birth again. Of course, you cannot. It doesn't mean you not just go to Rangam, but you carry the Lord in the heart. And who is the Lord? The Lord who carries, right? The Lord who carries that wheel of time, the wheel of chakra, to punish the offenders. So the wheel of chakra is actually represented by the monarchy, the regime. When this regime is abolished, the whole world becomes filled with thieves, and then at once vanquish the unprotected subjects like scattered lambs. So everyone becomes like a scattered lamb without the monarchy. Everybody is now into democracy, but this democracy is nothing but demon crazy, because you are there to appoint someone who is going to help you satisfy your senses, right? So monarchy means the real king, like Parikshit Maharaj, like Yudhishthira Maharaj. If you've got such a pious king running, that is the real success. In fact, you may think that in the past everything happened by monarchy, father and son. No, when Lord Rama was going to be appointed as king, Dasarat consulted his ministers. Dasarat consulted his ministers. Dasarat consulted his rishis. So there is democracy, but the power is given to the Brahmanas to vote. There is voting system. The Brahmanas will vote who is the ideal king. If you see, I'll come back to this verse. You see this verse from also Dhruva Maharaj. Vikshodavya Samtam cha Prakritinam cha Samadam Anurakta Prajam Raja Dhruvam Chakre Bhuvapatim. After the concentration, after concentration, King Uttanapad saw Dhruva Maharaj was suitably mature to take charge of the kingdom, and that his ministers were agreeable and the citizens were also fond of him, he enthroned Dhruva as the emperor of the planet. So we think that, monarchy, their father will just put his son and the son will rule. No, it was democracy in a right way. It was democracy. The vote was given to the rishis, the ministers who are qualified. Who are these ministers? Mostly they are Brahmanas. They are advising the king. They know, and the citizens are also happy. When Yudhishthira Maharaj was chosen, there was a test between Yudhishthira and Duryodhana, right? And everybody actually wanted Yudhishthira to rule. They know what an ideal king he was. Right? So similarly, Lord Ram also was not just given the throne like that. So this is how the king, the monarchy is so important. We'll come back to the verse. Sorry, 118. So we saw this verse. He's Naradeva. His father is very angry with him. So when the monarchy is gone, finished, everybody becomes victimized by the, like I said about the UK situation. Monarchy is not there. Yeah, so-called king they have, queen, but nothing. Then all these families and girls and young girls are victimized. No protection, right? This is one example. This is happening all over the world actually. Due to the termination of the monarchical regime, the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social destruction. A lot of mafia, all these people will come. They will come and destroy the society. They will loot you, right? People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And all these things, we shall be responsible. So Father is saying, now we are going to be responsible for this sin, right? So see all the symptoms what happens when you don't have the ideal king. At that time, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of progressive civilization in respective to the qualitative engagement of the caste and orders of the society of the Vedic induction. Nobody will follow this Varna ashram. No more. Right? All Brahmanas, what will happen? They want to go IIT and study. They're using their Brahminical intelligence to do Sudra work. Then who will study the Vedas? Who's going to preach the Vedas? No, all the brain power goes into IT coding, right? So this is what happens. Then when Brahmanas, like I said, Brahmanas gone, all other divisions gone. Thus they, and of course, if you go to India now, especially Tamil Nadu, finish. They are so anti-Brahmin. Whole propaganda is about this caste system. Brahmins did this, Brahmin did this, and Brahmins are totally wiped out, completely wiped out. You know, they want to wipe out Sanatana Dharma. This is their ideology. Because of course there was one point in time the Brahmins did do all these things, but it was not. But they are using now, these other rogues are using this as an excuse to just wipe out Sanatana Dharma. When it comes to Sanatana Dharma, when it comes to caste, they are like, we must fight for this. When it comes to other things, we are secular. How come the Sanatana Dharma you forgot? Right? Suddenly you're secular for certain issues. When it comes to these issues, oh no, we have to be. So entire system is hypocrisy. Thus, they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. So how we can blame you? How we can blame us? We are born in this system. Right? You tell somebody, Hare Krishna Prabhu, why not you take the book, read the book, become devotee? You are not interested in this. Why? Because from young age, your parents are pressurizing you. You must pass your exam. You must get the NEET exam. Right? You must get what placements. I mean, I'm a Singaporean. I don't know all this. Recently, only I learned all these things, all these terms. Okay, so from young age, you are not teaching anything about dharma, about Mahabharata, about Ramayana, about Srimad Bhagavatam to your child. Your whole focus is the child to become. You must study. Why? To get economic development. Then suddenly you expect the child to now take. Now when we talk about India, we talk about Sanatana Dharma is going down. Sanatana Dharma, nobody is following. Why? You must see where the seed started. If from the young age you are inculcated towards material life, economic development, of course this is needed, but it is needed for the sake of the priority is spiritual life. This is needed for sustenance. If you are always doing this, now who's going to come? Suddenly, how? How is going to come? So government has to do something. What the government has to do? The government of India has to completely change the education system. Right? You must change the books. You must bring in Bhagavad Gita in the class. Yeah, you are learning maths, science, whatever. You must learn this Bhagavad Gita. Everybody from the young age must learn. Then, even though you may, let's say, not everybody becomes a Brahmana, not everybody becomes a full-time devotee, but at least the society, everyone will become devoted somehow or other. If the government cannot do this, then they have failed as a government. Even though you may say Modi is government, this, that, all, if he does not bring this in his time, the government has failed, spiritually has failed. Because no matter what economic development you have, you cannot compete. Right? So, okay, even if you become the richest country in the world, what success is that? Now what? Okay, I'm the richest, so now what? What have you understood about life? What have you understood about the meaning or purpose of life? Are you living according to what? Are you going to get success in the next life? What are you going to do with the money now? Okay, you're the richest country in the world. You'll use the money and do even more sinful activities. More cow slaughtering will happen. What is the point? Right? So, obviously, I don't know when this will happen, but they have to change. And because right now the education system in India is so backwards. Whatever you're learning in this class is all by the Marxists, communists. You're not learning about Indian history. You're learning about Mughal history. You're glorifying the invaders who destroyed your country. This all should be taken out. Real history should be taught. Real history of our kings should be taught. Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthira, Arjuna, pure devotees, their lives should be taught. Lord Ram. Then you can see a real change in the society. Yeah, you can say we had the largest gathering in the world. How many million people went to Kumbh Mela? 300 million. But what is the point if you just go to the Kumbh Mela, take a deep, yeah, your sin is gone. After that, you come out, you continue sinning, right? If you do not know what is knowledge, if you do not know what is Shastra, obviously you're going to continue sinning, right? So you may come in mass numbers here, you are Hindu, Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is not represented by the amount of people there. It's represented by how many people know the Gita, how many people are living according to the Gita and Bhagavad. Then you'll see real change in the society. So this exactly what happens when ideal king is not present, right? And Dharma palo narapatir sathu sarma baraksha Trava, Shakshan Mahabhagavato, Rajarishe Haya Medayat, Shutrit Sharma Yukto Dhino, Nivashamak Chapam Arhati. The Emperor Parikshit is a pious king. He is highly celebrated and is first class devotee of the personality Godhead. He is a saint among the royalty and he has performed many horse sacrifices. When the king is tired and fatigued, being stricken with hunger and thirst, he does not deserve to be cursed. So this is how Kali Yuga took his entrance. So after that, the Rishi is praying to the Lord, please forgive us, forgive my son. And this is how Kali Yuga began. And when we were talking about Brahmana just now, I want to just conclude with this one. You see this verse, 1:16:21. Prabhupada is writing in the purport. So now we must understand, many of us, right, we have difficulties in life, correct? Let's say you're coming to the temple, you're feeling not looking so well. Then devotee will ask what happened, why you're sad. Mostly it's personal life problem. Because your kingdom is just you, your family, your extended family. And anything happens in that, the problems, you will be feeling sad. So you ask what happened, oh, my business failed. I'm sad. You're sad about your personal things, right? But a Raja Rishi, when you ask him why you're sad, right? This is the answer. Because here, Arjuna comes very sad to Yudhishthira. Arjuna is not telling why he's sad. Okay? Of course, why he's sad? Because Krishna already left now. Krishna already departed. Arjuna is now coming to give the news to Yudhishthira. In fact, when in the previous chapter, Vidura comes. Vidura already knows Krishna left. Vidura just came there to take out Dhritarashtra, chastises him and said, you get out now. Don't sit down here. Come to the forest and let's dedicate completely. Vidura was aware that Vidura is coming from the pilgrimage. After the war, finished, Yudhishthira is the king, Vidura is coming just for the sake of saving his brother. In fact, he don't want to come back actually. He already was in the forest, he was getting lessons from Maitreya Rishi. When Vidura came, he did not reveal anything that Krishna has gone. But Yudhishthira could understand something is not right by his. He say, how's everyone, how's the Dwaraka people, everything. Vidura say, yeah, okay. Then after that, Vidura left, Arjuna comes. Arjuna understood Dwaraka is finished now. And he's so sad now. And now you see this verse, Yudhishthira is asking, what happened, my brother? Why are you sad? He's saying, are you feeling sorry for the unhappy women and children who are left forlorn by unscrupulous person? We were just discussing the situation in UK, right? You think the government there is sad? I mean, I'm just giving UK an example. Happening in India also. Love jihad, right? All these things, crazy things happening. Is the government bothered? Is the police bothered? In fact, police is assisting these things also. So number one, you can understand a king becomes sad if he cannot protect the praja. He cannot protect the women and the children and the old and the brahmanas. He becomes sad. Then he says, are you unhappy because the goddess of learning is being handled by the brahmanas addicted to acts against religion, principles of religion? If the brahmanas are preaching against Shastra, the king has the duty to correct it. King becomes sad also. Right. See, again, you must understand, he's not asking you this, why you said you have problem, you have some fight with Subhadra Devi, you have fight with Draupadi, what happened? No, he's not going to be sad with these personal problems at all. He's beyond that. Even his wives are all pure devotees. They are beyond that. Right? So again, when the Brahmana are not doing duty, the king will become Sat, the Rajarishi. Or are you sorry to see that Brahmanas have taken shelter of administrative families that do not respect Brahmanical culture? This is also happening. Example happened to Dronacharya. Dronacharya was Brahmana, but he took shelter of the wrong family, Kauravas. And he unfortunately had to fight for the wrong side and he was killed, right? That is wrong. In the purport, Prabhupada is writing, in the age of Kali, women and children along with Brahmanas and cows will be grossly neglected and left unprotected. In this age, illicit connection with women will render many women and children uncared for. But this is happening. So many women are getting unwanted children, abortion, so much abortion, right? So much of sinful activities. If you abort the child, you're going to suffer, right? Circumstantially, women will try to become independent of the protection of men, and marriage will be performed as a matter of formal agreement between men and women. Just, sign a paper. Very, and then very hard to get divorced. Easy to get marriage, very hard to get divorced. So, in most cases, the children will not be taken care properly. Brahmanas will traditionally be intelligent men, and thus they will be able to pick up modern education to the topmost rank. This is what we're talking just now. The Brahmanas will be the topmost rank, but they are doing Sudra job now. But as far as moral and religious principles are concerned, they shall be most fallen. They'll become very fallen. They will lose all their principles. So education and bad character goes ill together. So the more highly educated you become, the more corrupted you become also. You see all those big crimes. They are getting, doing scams, $3 billion, $4 billion, $40, $30 billion, crypto scams. All educated guys. But the small guy will do some small crime, he'll go jail longer than the other guy for the white collar crime. So because they can bribe. The administrative heads as class will condemn the tenets of Vedic wisdom and prefer to conduct a so-called secular state and so-called educated Brahmanas. So all secularism going on in the name of secularism. This is how India is. Now you see Ram Janmabhoomi we got. After that, what they say? You cannot talk about all the other temples. We are secular. Why? Why? This is our temple which was destroyed. We should get it back. We are the only country in the world, the Indians are the only people in the world who will allow the invader to step on your head. After they left also, they are still stepping on the head. They don't allow the temples to come back. Mathura temple, you have to go. We are the only country in the world, they will go on law court proceedings to get back your own temple. You do this in Europe, they will go and get back. Of course, now Europe is different also. So, this secular nonsense is going on, right? So, the so-called secular state and so-called educated Brahmanas will be purchased by unscrupulous administrators. So all Brahmanas will become like that, corrupted. Even philosopher and writer of many books on religious principles may also accept an exalted post in the government, which denies all the moral codes of Shastra. They will look through Manu Shastra, right? Manu Dharma Shastra. You see how Manu is speaking. They will look at the Shastra, just picking out, cherry picking verses. You see, you must understand these verses. Sometimes in Bhagavatam, there are many verses which are also negative. You know why? Because the negative verse is, they're telling all these negative things to tell that this is wrong. So if you just pick that negative verse, okay, let's say the verse says, one killing is, talking about animal sacrifice, this is how you cut the animal and all. After that, the next verse comes and says, you shouldn't do this. So somebody just picks up that one verse and says, see, exactly what is happening in India. They are very interested what Rama is eating in the forest. They're saying Rama, they're picking up one verse, Rama eat meat. You see, Rama eat meat. Rama is supreme Lord, he can eat universe. Of course, he didn't eat the meat. It's all wrong interpretation, translation. Why they are so interested in this Shastra suddenly? When you ask them to read Ramayana, they're not interested. When they say, oh, there's something about eating meat, let me try to take this and show to the people. The Brahmanas, they also can eat meat. Manipulation of Shastra, this is happening. This is what Prabhupada is mentioning. So these Brahmanas are doing this job actually. They are This kind of brahmanas. Yeah, Dushan Sridhar. Yeah, this kind of brahmanas. So the brahmanas are specifically restricted from accepting such service. So they are preaching in a way that it will deny the moral code of the Shastra. But in this age, they will only accept service. But in this age, they will not only accept service, but they will also even do so if it is of meanest quality. These are some of the symptoms of Kali Yuga which are harmful for the general welfare. So basically, we have covered all these points just to show how an ideal king should be. He should stop all this. He should give real protection to the country, citizens, which was in the time of Maharaj Gaya, which we cannot expect in the age of Kali now. So you all become kings of your own kingdom and don't come back here again. Make your kingdom strong, right? You cannot expect for a king to help you. You make your kingdom strong. You become a devotee. You make sure your family is all devotee. All of you are surrendered to the process of Krishna consciousness, taking shelter of Prabhupada, taking serious shelter of Prabhupada, taking initiation, surrendering your life. In that way, all of you will make sure this kingdom of yours, small kingdom, will not come back to this Kali Yuga. Because this age of Kali is going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse. Every second, 200, I don't know how many millions of animals are killed. Every second, how many people are getting raped and murdered. Right? So we are now actually in a bubble of Singapore. We are like an illusion, like it is very safe. But life can take its turn anytime. And the only protection is actually the holy name of the Lord. So if you see it, let me show this verse. I saw this, I think, yesterday, 2 days ago. Fourth and 30, Guru Maharaj. Yan namadheyam abhidhaya nisamya chada. Okay. All sages said Durva, son of King Uttanapad, made a supreme personality god known as Dhanva, who relieves the distress of his devotees. Kill all your threatening enemies. The holy name of the Lord is all powerful as the Lord himself. See, the Lord is not different from his name. Therefore, simply by chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, many men can be fully protected from the fierce death without difficulty. That's the devotees. So this is spoken by the rishis. Because what happened when Guru Maharaj, he becomes the king, after that he actually at first he went to the forest to meditate because he was angry with his stepmother and the son, right, stepbrother. After he saw the Lord, he was completely purified, and he feels regret. Why I took them as my enemy? They're not my enemy, right? I'm part and parcel of Krishna. They are part and parcel of Krishna. He actually became pure devotee. He saw no one as an enemy. So he became very close to his brother after that. After that, the brother goes to the forest, right, for hunting. Eventually, some yakshas come and kill him. So Dhruva Maharaj got so angry that the yakshas killed his brother. He went and he started to fight. These yakshas are living in the Gandhamadan mountain there, right? Yakshas, who's the king of yakshas? Kubera. Kubera is the king. So all the yakshas were coming and he was killing them. Dhruva Maharaj he's not only a king who is like a pure devotee, he's chanting Narayana, he's chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He was such a powerful king. He was killing the yakshas like anything. So the king also has power to fight, to enforce, right? So all the yakshas were dying, and then after the yakshas, they had power of creating illusions. And they created such a great illusion that Dhruva Maharaj did not know what to do now. He did not know how to counteract this illusion. And what happened? At that time, because he, being an ideal king, who takes the guidance of Brahmanas, right? Ideal king takes guidance of Brahmanas. These Brahmanas, these rishis, these sages, came to the help of Dhruva Maharaj. Because Dhruva Maharaj was so confused, he was losing now with all these illusions of the yakshas. These Brahmanas all came and they told him, my dear king, use the Narayana Astra. So he chanted the Narayana Astra and he says that the Supreme Lord, who is Sharanga Dhanva, the one who wields the bow and arrow to protect his devotees, that is Krishna, that is Ram. Like example, when Raghunath Das Thakur was in Vrindavan, he did not even construct a hut. So no time, because he got so much of rounds to chant. He was chanting his rounds in the hot sun. Right? Of course, we know one time what happened. Radharani came and put her sari in cover. Sanatan Goswami saw this and started scolding him. How dare you take service of Radharani? You better make a hut. He said, okay. He continued not making a hut. After that, Sanatan Goswami saw now Krishna is there with a sharanga, with a bow and arrow. Why? Because tiger is coming. Krishna is saying, if the tiger comes one more step, I'll shoot. Again, Sanatan Goswami scolded him. How dare you take service of the Lord? Now, if we know that Krishna is standing there, bow and arrow, I'll tell everyone, Krishna protect me. Huh? See, here he's getting scolding from Sanatan Goswami, you're taking service of the Lord. So that is the Lord. If you're chanting properly, he is there with the bow and arrow wanting to protect you. Right? In the Kumbhakonam, there's a temple, Sharangapani temple. Sharangapani, he's the one who's wielding the bow and arrow. And the temple, okay, I think I told this story, very special, because when the Alvar came there, Tirumalisai Alvar, he is telling, the Lord is anticipating Alvar is coming. Everybody saying Alvar is coming, Alvar, Tirumalisai Alvar coming. The Lord is becoming very nervous. Oh, my pure devotee is coming. So when he came in front of the Lord, he says, Nananda Kalgal Nundabo, your legs are paining, my Lord. Why are you lying down? Is it because when you're Lord Ram, when you're walking in the forest, you're feeling pain in your legs? Is that why you're taking rest? So he sings in Tamil, which I can't really articulate nicely, but he says that, is your leg so paining? Is your body so paining? You're lying down. Why not you stand up and see me? Pesuvaye Kesani. Or Kesava, Why don't you speak? Get up and speak. So when the Lord heard that prayer, the Sharangapani Lord, he got up. When he got up, the Alvar felt, oh my God, how come he is listening to me and getting up like that? No, you stay as whatever you are. Then the Lord is like not even lying down, not even standing up. He's halfway like freeze. Like the game that children play, We play the game, musical chairs. So when the music stops, you got to freeze, So the Lord, that kind of Lord, who by hearing the words of his pure devotee got up. That is the Charangapani. Right? So this is the thing. Lesson to learn from this verse. When you are an ideal person, not even a king, ideal devotee, you will have the devotee association at the right time, at the right place, at the right moment. When you are in distress, the devotee association will come and save you. When you think that you will just do bhakti, I'm doing it at home. I don't need any association with sadhus, devotees. Nobody will be around at that time. Right? So we need good, cordial relationships among Vaishnavas. Right? We need to respect each one devotees. Because at the time, we don't know who is going to help you at the time of death. Right? So here he was going to die actually, I don't think he'll die, but yeah, he's not going to die, but he's in big trouble. And without even asking for help, the rishis came, said, and gave the advice. So sadhu sangha is so important. Just chanting alone is good. Chanting is good. But sadhu sangha, then nama kirtan comes very easily. You cannot do nama kirtan without sadhu sangha properly. Right? And with the advice of the rishis, he started chanting those mantras of Narayana, and he released the Narayana Astra, and everything was gone. All illusion gone, and he defeated the Yakshas. So we want to be victorious. We have to take a shelter of this instruction. Become an ideal king. Guru Maharaj. How to be ideal king? Take shelter of Sadhu Sastra Guru. Then live your life according to Sadhu Sastra Guru. Then you will be ideal. Then your kingdom will be nicely managed. And so this is all these are points which are trying to help understand more about Maharaj Gaya, another ideal king of the Bhagavatam. That all so great that there are 1/6 of their quality they are giving. You take my punya, right? And if you look at another ideal king, actually today no breakfast, right? So I think I can speak a little bit more. So if you look at this ideal king, who is this? Karmeneva hi samsiddhim asita janakadhaya loka sangraham evapi sampashyan kartamanasi. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. Krishna is giving example of an ideal king. Who is that? Janaka Maharaj. So you saw earlier that in the verse it says that the Brahmanas can take 1/6 of their punya, give it to the king. If the king is so pure, he can take his punya and give to the people suffering. You know why I'm quoting this story? Because of Janaka Maharaj. Because in Padma Puran there's a story where Janaka Maharaj is ready to go to the spiritual world, going back home, back to Godhead. Vaikuntha plane came. While going back, he's going past the Naraka Lokas, and the air of his body is coming towards Naraka. And the air comes and touches all these people suffering there, and they say they felt relief just by feeling the air of the pure devotee. You see how powerful the pure devotee is. Just the air. And that's why there's so many verses which says that, Ganga, you can bathe and purify you many, after long time bathing in Ganga. But just by seeing once the pure devotee, all your sins are clear. Imagine the air of Prabhupada when he went into where he went? US. The relief that he brought to the nation in 1960s and the world. In fact, he's physically not here, so how much relief he's bringing to us? Just by his words. So when Janaka went there, he could hear people screaming, "Oh, please don't go, you are relieving us." So he said, "Okay, let me go down and see what is happening." When he went down, he saw all these people suffering. So much of punishment going on. After a while, Yamaraj came. Yamaraj understood Janaka Maharaj is here. Because Yamaraj is who? Mahajan. Janaka was also Mahajan, one of the 12 Mahajan, right? Bali, Vayasaki, Vayam. What is the words? Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu. Kumara, Kapilo, Janaka. Kumara, Kapilo, Manu. Bhishma, Janaka, Prahlad. All the kings, all the Kshatriyas in this one line. Bali Maharaj, then Vayasaki is Sukadev Goswami, and Yamaraj. So 12 Mahajans. So this Mahajan now meeting this Mahajan. When Yamaraj is saying, "My dear Janaka, what you're doing here? You're supposed to go to Vaikuntha. No? Yeah, Rama is waiting for you." He said, "No, yeah, I'm supposed to go, but I see all these people suffering. I cannot leave this place until I find out what is the solution to help them." Pure devotee, para dukkha dukki. He always sees the suffering of others and he wants to alleviate their suffering. And here, this pure devotee was a king. Can you imagine? He's a pure devotee and he's a king. How the kingdom of Mithila would have been. Right? So then, after that, Yamaraj said, "Okay, let me show you like an excursion, school excursion. You go to the zoo, right?" He went to show all the different punishment happening. He said, "This person, he had affair with his friend's wife. So we are boiling him in the water, boiling in oil. This guy, stealing, we are chopping his hand continuously. This one, the elephants are stampeding on him." He said, all these people did crazy things. They have to go through punishment. No choice. Right? And he said, no. I cannot leave this. He said, they feel my presence here helping them. I would rather stay. So, Salokya, Sasti, Samipya, right? Sarupya, Ekatva. The 5 kinds of liberation, devotee doesn't care. He rather, Mama Janmani Sware, Bhavatar Bhakti, Raitu Kitari. I again take birth. I can stay in hell, never mind. Doesn't matter. Salokya means same planet. Salokya, Samipya, same opulence. Sarupya means same features as the Lord. Salokya, Sarsti means of the west. Opulence. Sarupya means same features, bodily features. Samipya means same, very closely associating. Salokya means same planet. This 5 liberation is not even wanted by the pure devotee. I mean, if anyone asks, if tomorrow Krishna says, "I give you liberation and give you some Sarupya, you can be looking like me in the spiritual world," you will say no. But the pure devotee will say no because he wants to save the suffering people. So he said, "Okay, if that is the case, I will stay here." Just like Yudhishthira Maharaj, he understood the illusion was shown to him, right? In hell. So Yudhishthira heard his brothers and boys, and they said, "No, you can come heaven. They let them suffer here." He said, "No, my brothers are here. I'm staying here with them." So pure devotee. Naivo dhvije para durata vaitaranyas. Tad virya ghayana mahamrita makna chitta. Prahlad Maharaj is saying. All these people are suffering. They are soaking in suffering. This Vaitaranya river, right? So I want to save them. So anyway, Janaka says like that. Then Yamaraj said, okay, I'll give you one solution. How you can help them? What you can do is you give your punya of chanting the name of Ram to them. Basically, if a guru initiates you, he gives you the Diksha mantra, right? Of course, they say Hare Krishna mantra, no need Diksha. But when you chant, now you are chanting and you take Diksha now, and you hear that Hare Krishna mantra now, in that fire sacrifice, Prabhupada is initiating you, right? You're getting the mantra. It is becoming even more powerful. So similarly, these people who have never chanted name of Ram, they are getting whatever you call it, what Sukriti? Agyata Sukriti. Agyata Sukriti. Unknown, there's two things, right? There's Kripa, there's Karuna, right? So Kripa is something you beg for. Gurudev, Kripa Bindu Diya. Oh my Gurudev, please give me your mercy, Kripa. Karuna is something that just comes without you asking also. The Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave and just Karuna Avatar. Right? Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradaya. Krishna. He came and gave Karuna to you without you even asking for Kripa. Right? Parama Karuna. Right? That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So like that, so Yamaraj said, you give now your punya to them, and then by the holy name of Ram, they will get liberated with you. And it's not like, see, these things are unlimited. When you do some material punya, let's say you have this amount of, right, somebody dies. Let's say you have the power to give 50% of your life. It means 50% of your life is gone now. Correct? But holy name is not like that, unlimited. So here he gave the Ram Nam Punya to everyone. He initiated everyone. Yeah, everybody went back. Hell was empty for it. So how important is Guru? Without Guru, Kripa, Karuna of Guru, how you going to chant proper Suddhanam? In fact, these people in hell cannot chant Suddhanam. But they now have the Suddhanam given by the pure devotee. We are also chanting Nam only, the same Nam, but it's not Suddhanam. But the more you take shelter of the pure devotee, Prabhupada, and you sincerely chant, my dear Prabhupada, I am identifying myself with the material world. I am identifying with this false ego. I think I am this. This is my house. This is my family. I am actually not this. I am actually your servant. I am a part and parcel of you. In that mood, chanting for the pleasure of the Lord. If you chant now, okay, I'm chanting Hare Krishna because I want to be happy, then that is not for the pleasure of the Lord, it's for your pleasure. You will not get the real Ananda. Real Ananda comes because I chant for the pleasure of glorifying the Lord. For His sake, for pleasing and let's not talk about the Lord, we are very far away from Him. For the pleasure of Prabhupada. If you chant in that mood, then you will eventually come to the point of Suddhanam. You see, I'm just going to make an extra point regarding chanting. Of course, it's going a bit off, but very important point, which I myself struggle with. We have not even conquered the battle of the phone. You understand? What I mean is, many of us chanting, we play with the phone. Right? Watching something, reading something, even, right? Somehow getting the urge to reply the message on the phone, seeing the notification. Our chanting is phone chanting. Okay. We haven't even come to the point of battling the mind. Let's say you have come to the point of putting your phone away, no distraction. Okay, imagine, no more distraction. You have come to the point of completely negating all devices, only you and your chanting. Then there comes the battle of the mind. So basically, many of us here, including myself, right? I don't know, of course, some of you all might be a really different level, but many of us here are in the battle of the phone. The battle of the mind has not begun. So when you come to the battle of the mind, just you and chanting and mind alone, you know how difficult that is? At least first come to that step. Then of course, yato nishchalati manas chanchalam ashtiram. Keep pulling it back the mind. The attempt to pull back the mind. When the mind goes, pull it back. Mind goes, pull it back. How to pull it back? Pray for the mercy of Prabhupada. Give me your mercy to chant. Give me your mercy to glorify Krishna. And not just chant for the sake of doing a duty of chanting. Right? Then you see every day will be an improvement. Every day we must see an improvement rather than going back. Right? So, like from this story of Janaka Maharaj, and I mean connecting to the story of Dhruva Maharaj, how the association, sadhu sangha, very important. Okay, so I think we'll stop here then. No question. Anyone has any question here? The point is clear. Okay. So I mean, like another point I wanted to make is about chanting. Like, see, when we go to the battlefield, right? How do we fight the battle? You have to have weapons. Can you go into the battlefield without any weapon? What weapon do you? Easily you're killed. Correct. So what is the how to battle the mind now? You need the weapons. What are the weapons? Right. The weapons of proper sadhana. The Prabhu keep emphasizing Mangalarti. The weapon of proper chanting. The weapon of reading 1 hour a day at least. These three weapons. The weapon of doing service attitude, prashadam, all this. Taking only Krishna prashadam. When you have all these weapons every day, no, it's not only I already have the weapon, he's going to continue. Every day is a refresh, the new game. The game refresh. New level. Every day, if you start your battle with these 5 weapons strongly, your day will be able to conquer the mind. But every day you cannot, every day you don't do this properly, then you are going into the battlefield without the ammunition. When there's no ammunition, we will easily succumb to the power of the mind, and then we will easily give up. Then, as you keep building, as you now you 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, within 1 year, you realize how far away you are from the goal of your life. Because when you came here, you understand this is the goal, you want to follow this goal, but then eventually you forget the goal. If you cannot refresh these 5 weapons. So everything has to be done, not just one. Like I cannot just say I will only hear. I must also do the practice. I must also rise up early. I must chant my rounds properly. I must commit myself to do some service, right? Do some service of preaching. Prabhupada get very happy when you do more book distribution, all this kind of thing. In your capacity, whatever you push yourself to do. Then you are equipped with the weapon. Then the time of death comes, the mind has all these weapons. Strong now. Okay, so we'll stop here then. Jai Gurendra Srimad Bhagavatam. Nitai Gaur.